Hey, good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Kyros Sunday Counseling Session Series. This is the graduation season, and let's take a moment to celebrate the shared achievements of all our 2022 graduates. You've studied, struggled, sacrificed, and the dream. And to the parents, you've worried, nurtured, cheered, and relieved. Indeed, this has been a long journey, a journey of self-discovery, a journey of trials and tribulations, a journey of tears and the joys. Now, we often tell our students, listen to your own voice, believe in your own talent, and follow your own path. But it's much easier said than done. So today I'm super proud to have our 2022 graduates come and share their personal stories, their unique journeys to the dream colleges, lessons they learned, moments they remembered, help they received, and now in return, they are willing to share with our future graduates. So you will get to know our 7 panelists much better after the session, how they followed their own path, things they did inside the classroom, all the courseworks, all the tests they've taken, things they did outside of the classroom, some of the extracurricular activities, clubs, music, sports, and especially what they did in the summer. And of course, how they prepared for the college list and how they chose the majors with conviction and the hard work they put into the application process, writing essays, getting resumes done, getting letter recommendations done, and going through college interviews, so on and so forth. So without any further ado, please join me in welcoming our 7 panelists today. So we have David, who is going to William and Mary, and he will be major in data science. He also got a highly selective Monroe Scholarship. We also have Caitlin, who is going to UC Berkeley, and she will major in molecular and cell biology. Larry is going to Georgia Tech in computer science, a very hot major, but he's also accepted to University of Washington, North Carolina, and University of Maryland. We have Shannon going to Wellesley College, one of the top liberal arts college in the United States, and she will be studying media arts and the science. She was also accepted to University of South Florida and the WPI with scholarships. And she did not decide to go there, and why? We're going to find out. We have Yija going to UT Austin, major in business, also accepted to Texas A&M and UT Dallas, Boston universities. Vale is going to Cornell, major in computer science and double major in math, also accepted to UT Austin, Texas A&M. We have Zena going to UC Davis, major in data science, also accepted to Boston, Northeastern, University of Washington, UIUC, Purdue, UCSB, and University of Michigan. So all these students worked very hard, and let us hear their stories. We're going to ask Caitlin, Larry, and Yija, what led you to your current major, and how did you develop that academic interest? So Caitlin, let's go to you first.
All right, so I'm majoring in molecular and cell biology, and in my school, I participated in a 4-year biomed academy that really taught me about medicine and the medical field. So that really interested me and made me want to pursue more about biology and hopefully let me pursue the medical field and things like that. So I really wanted to do something that was related to STEM. So I chose molecular and cell biology because I believe that high school really prepared me for this major.
All right, thanks, Caitlin. And let's go to Larry, computer science.
I've always been a more STEM oriented student, so I like math and science and like technical stuff. But it was really my research experience that propelled me to go deeper into computer science and uncover its interdisciplinary nature. And in high school, I was a member of this basically like a special program called AOIT, which is like technology focused.
All right, thanks, Larry. So internship was really a great way for you to discover. How about Ija?
I'm majoring in business and possibly finance. And I was always interested in database and product management, so I always considered studying business as a viable option. But my experience as a marketing intern, actually for the Kyros online forum, led me to consider this as my main interest. As the team lead, I liked completing a run through of the marketing campaign, creating and presenting deliverables, marketable content, and learning about PRDs, KPIs, and more. And this led me to realize my interest in examining the metrics and analytics of creating a product.
Awesome. Thanks, Ija, for sharing. Okay, let's go to our second question. And if I can get the slide over. Now, when you last year this time, and I guess the first half of senior year, you spend a lot of time in thinking through what will be the right college list, right? You wanted to construct that list that gives you the best chance of getting into your dream college, but not too aimed too high that you end up risking that you may not be accepted. So what was the rationale that you went through for constructing that college list? What did you consider? Is the location, professors, so on and so forth? So let's first hear from David. David, let's go to you first.
So for constructing my college list, I'm living in Virginia, so the colleges around my area are probably my top priority. And since Virginia has a lot of top 50 schools, I had a lot to choose from. And also colleges from this area get in-state tuition. And then also I could feel comfortable going somewhere I already knew for my entire life. And I eventually settled on William & Mary because it matched all my criteria. I wanted to major in data science, and I really loved the community and the campus from the tours I went to. And so about my major, which is data science, it was a big consideration of mine since I always wanted to go into the data science and computer science field. And so I looked for the schools that had them, and other schools like Virginia Tech and UVA, which are also in my area, had good computer science and data science fields as well. So they're also in my consideration.
Great, thanks. So really the location and the specific program that allows you a great experience in data science major or very important to you. All right, let's go to Shannon next.
Hi, everyone. So I knew that in my college search, I really wanted to go to a smaller liberal arts college, preferably in the East Coast, just to get a change of scenery because I'm from California, the Bay Area. And I always considered women's colleges because I thought it would be good for me as an aspiring STEM major to get a more predominantly female environment just before I transition into a more predominantly male work environment. And I knew I wanted a really nice campus, so Wellesley was good for that. All of the small liberal arts colleges are. And they also have a cross-registration program with MIT. And so I thought that'd be really great if I could go and be a cross-registered student, work in the media lab, meet with other MIT students and faculty. And yeah, I also knew I wanted to be near a city, so I had Boston for that. And yeah, just really strong alumni network, large endowment, strong academic rigor. So yeah.
Thanks, Shan. That's a very thorough research you did. Let's go to Ija to see your thoughts on the college list.
So I also chose colleges to apply to primarily due to their location and programs for my major. My college list was made up of schools that were close to home. So I applied to UT, Austin, Dallas, and Texas A&M. And they were in cities that would be well suited for college graduates where I could build some good real world experience and could provide a good internship opportunities. So for me, for UT Austin. At the time, I was very interested in accounting, and UT has a really good, probably I think the best accounting program in the country, and they also have a really strong internship network as well. In order to finalize my college list, I used a tiered list system where I applied to a certain number of reach, target, and safety schools. And I also used academic chancing where I could compare my extracurriculars, test scores, and grades to the colleges I was interested in.
Awesome. Thanks, Ija, for sharing. And Vale, let's go to you next.
So like Ija, I applied to a couple of reach schools. So in Texas, we have the top 10 and top 6% where you can get auto admission into UT Austin and Texas A&M. So I applied to those two colleges because I knew I could get in and not have to spend a lot of time from there. And in terms of my reach schools, I looked into programs and the professors and the courses that they're taking. So for example, at Cornell, there's a really big focus on topology, and I found that to be really interesting. So I looked into the kind of courses that they're offering. And then if those interested me, then I would add that to my potential college list.
Wow, you all did a really good homework. We often hear from the counselors that you should build your college list like a football shape, right? You had a few on top, that's reach or far reach, and in the middle is where your target is. And then, of course, you wanted to have some safety. You may not be your dream college, but that's something like worst scenario. So you all did wonderfully. We will go to our third question. And we're going to go a little bit deeper into the sequence of events that led you to a successful application process, and especially if there are areas that you like to highlight that was challenging or that was unexpected, etc. So let's go to David for the first panelist. Let me go back to David. David, over to you.
Yep. So I joined Kyros back in like late 11th grade, I think, and they really helped me just guide me through the whole application process for college. And the main thing is I didn't have an older sibling or someone to guide me through this entire thing. I was the first person to do this basically by myself. So it was mainly everyone at Kyros that showed me how to start. And I first realized I needed to have a solid background with extracurriculars in addition to academics. So I immediately started to do stuff further with my hobbies that I was passionate about already. And then I focused on my Common App essay. And even though I've written a lot of papers, like research papers, especially for school, the personal essay for Common App essays are like completely different. And it was really Kyros that really helped me figure out how to start them, how to plan them, and how to get all the way through those papers. And in this aspect, I think that their sprint programs really did the most to help me. And the examples that they have on the databases were really good to look at. And the entire year leading up to college applications, Kyros was really helpful as they were aware what the students needed, and the sprint programs, which I found the most helpful, covered everything I needed to learn. And I followed theirs with the letters of recommendation. So asking my teachers effectively without having to like worry about what to say. They had good plans for that. And then how to create and boost my resume, which I also had to create from scratch. And some stories I had for Kyros in the middle of the year when I was working on one of the Common App essays. I had a glitch like in the middle of the night when I was working late, I guess. And we emailed Kyros, and to my surprise, they responded like right away. And the engineers actually helped me fix it. So it was really helpful going with Kyros this entire time, trying to get through all my Common App essays, resumes, letters of recommendation. So.
Thank you, David. That's pretty intense, the process you went through. Let's hear from Larry next.
Yeah, so basically composing a solid Common App essay is imperative since it's basically the core of your application. And also having at least 2 or 3 supplemental topics like key points of focus are really handy, so you can handle most of the school prompts. And I would like to add that for recommendations, I think building a good rapport with at least 2 teachers and your counselors also really important, as you don't want external recommendations to be your downfall if everything else looks perfect. And also for interviews, I highly recommend a document basically comprised of main points I want to talk about myself and my experiences, as well as at least like 3 or 4 school specific questions for the interviewer, which shows that you're really engaged and you care about the school. especially since it's virtual and you have the time and resources to fully prepare. Um, and also, I would like to add, yeah, just like David, Kyros is really helpful in helping me prepare since they have tailored programs for early decision, early action, and RD, so regular decision school. I'm sorry, rounds, and they also have a great interview program, specialized for interviews, and they give great timely feedback as well as expert experiences. So it's really helpful.
Thanks very much, Larry, for sharing. Shannon, anything from your side?
Okay, so I'm going to speak a little more towards the athletes here. Definitely to have a successful recruiting process, you should reach out really early to college coaches, like maybe end of sophomore year, beginning of junior year, and just send them your transcript, your schedule, your highlights, your standardized test scores, your GPA, all of that. Give a like concise introduction as to who you are, what your best qualities are, how you were going to fit into that specific program, express your like interest in the program, do a little bit of research about the coach, like just mention like their highlights or their awards or whatever. And yeah, just get in touch with them. If you have a coach or a connection to that school, definitely utilize that. Like for me, I had my club coach at CalSTARS connect me to a lot of coaches. And in terms of like getting exposure, I definitely recommend joining a club team if you're not already in one and heading to a bunch of showcase tournaments. So my summers were just like mostly composed of traveling like all around the country, getting viewed by college coaches. And yeah, just like put your best self forward. Make sure that you're like a good person, just like on and off the court, like you're a good player and a good person, and you're be sure to get looks and interest. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It's an unusual route, but thanks for sharing all the ins and outs as an athlete recruit. Let's go to Icha next.
So, like David, I am the first person in my family to go to a college in the US, and I went to a large high school, so we didn't have much personal counseling from any of our counselors. But Kyros really helped me prepare for the application process. In particular, I liked the templates for recommendation letters, framework essays, and examples from current college students. And in particular, I wanted to highlight the scholarship sprint program, which I attended, and I applied to a few scholarships, and I'm still currently waiting for 2 decisions. But I found the program useful, especially in the research process, like how to find less known scholarships and receiving constructive feedback on my scholarship essays by the coaching team. And finally, I recently attended the transition to college sprint program, which was helpful in choosing and finalizing a major and career path and giving more of an insight into the clubs and organizations I could be a part of in college. And these programs were really great to wrap up to the application process.
Next.
So I would say definitely look into scholarships during like the fall time of like your senior year or like even earlier than that, because I didn't, and I kind of regret that now because I didn't really consider like the financial aspects of like college while applying. And when I got accepted into some of them, I realized that I might not be able to attend because it was so expensive. So that was definitely a downer for me.
Indeed, a very good reminder, Zena. There are a lot of third-party scholarships and grants that you probably won't be able to easily find on the college website or federal aids, but such a expensive endeavor for college. So get that process started earlier. So I love our last question. And I think it takes a lot, reflection and the courage, but let's see if you can give advice to your younger self at the start of high school. What would you tell yourself and why? So I'd love to hear first from David.
So if I had to give my younger self any advice, it would to go into college applications confidently. It would be to start preparing early, because even though it feels weird to start preparing before a lot of people even start thinking about college, it would definitely make you feel more prepared your senior year when everybody else, like everybody else has said, are panicking, trying to get everything done and applying to all these different schools at the last minute. And also by preparing, I think the main thing is to pick up some extracurricular activities that you're passionate about and then carry them out throughout high school and then maybe even throughout college. And so when you do those extracurricular activities and you do volunteering opportunities or you do something more with those, you can actually show your commitment and your passion for them in your Common App essays and your resumes, and you really stand out to colleges. And for example, I became interested in like sleight of hand card magic late in my junior year and into my senior year. And once I started doing college applications, I realized it was important to do extracurricular activities that were meaningful. I did something like volunteering with my library and doing online like group classes teaching magic to actually carry my hobby out throughout to the next level. And so to my younger self, it would definitely be to start doing that earlier, so that way I will have more of that experience and be able to do that with other things in my life, and just to do something more with your passions. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, David. I remember you were saying, sometimes you have a lot of other advice, opinions, you hear from others as you start questioning yourself, well, should I do this or not? But sticking with your passion, super important. Larry, what do you have to share? Advice for your younger self?
Yeah, so I really wish I kind of foresaw my career paths like earlier. Like whether it's STEM, whether it's humanities, business, econ, just so you're able to hone in on extracurriculars and gain the like the necessary experiences and knowledge to progress you as you apply for colleges. And also I really wish I had like a job or some more meaningful volunteer work during my underclassmen years in high school, just to demonstrate the qualities of being responsible, committed, and just wanting to serve and impact the community, which is really what colleges want, especially since nowadays like standardized like hard test scores really hold less significance even compared to like 5 years ago. So they really want to see you as a person rather than like a points on a paper.
Thank you, Larry. Our audience is very lucky to hear that from you. Caitlin, let me go to Caitlin next.
So for me, I would say start early, like many of them said. I think that compiling a list during the summer or knowing what you really want to talk about for your extracurriculars is very important, because when you're in the works of actually writing them and putting it down on paper, it gets really difficult when you have to grab things from memory. So having a list is really easy for reference, and also to really get in touch with your teachers who you want to ask for recommendation letters from. So I think that keeping good relationships with them and always checking up on them before and after you ask for your letter of recommendation is very important, because it kind of builds this connection. And then also talking to them is very important, so they know you more rather than just from your academics, but they can know you like personally, so that they can also include that in your recommendation letter so that it's more personal and it stands out more to the admission board.
Thank you, Caitlin. Shannon, what would you like to say to your younger self?
Like everyone else was saying, definitely start earlier. I wish I prepared more, and like listen to kind of people before me that have gone through this process, just to like know more. So like all of you attending the panel today, like good job. It's gonna help you in the future. Yeah, my like younger brother is at Kyros right now, and he's only in 9th grade, so I feel like he's set, like he's pretty lucky. But also I think I like place too much emphasis on like college prestige and stuff like that. I wish I didn't worry so much throughout the college process, because it really does all work out in the end. Like it sounds super cliche, but everyone I know right now is like very happy where they ended up, regardless of like prestige and ranking, just because like that's the college for them. And like the college admissions officers know if like you're going to be a good fit for their school because they like accepted you. So it all works out and it's going to be okay. Also, like still prepare early.
Thank you so much, Shannon, for just sharing, from the bottom of your heart. And prestige, a lot of the students do focus on that and get very, very stressed. And thanks for the advice. Vale, let's hear from you.
So I think the most simple advice I'd give to my younger self is just to do things that I enjoy. So whether that be extracurriculars or looking into like school subjects and just finding something that I really like. Because in the end, that would help you a lot because when you enjoy things, it makes it easier to do things like write essays, you have better experiences. That really helps you a lot. And it also can help you decide things like your major, which is really important. And I guess just another thing is just to try to not put things off or slack off, especially at the beginning of high school, because it's easy to say, oh, I still have 4 more years to do stuff. So I can just like slack off. I can like get bad grades. So I'd say just make sure that you're kind of strict on yourself, especially near the beginning, because once you get into a role, it's you can just take yourself